Be Me, 29, productivity and lifestyle optimization consultant. Amassed 120K followers on LinkedIn and Twitter. Brand is built on the quantified life and agile personal management, obsessed with elimination of friction, maximizing ROI on time, and high-performance habits. Married for 3 years to Mark. Mark is 32, works as a landscape architect. He's earthy, patient, creative, likes to get his hands dirty. Relationship was solid, but felt it lacked velocity. We were happy, but were we optimal? Started reading books about applying corporate scaling strategies to domestic life. The Agile Family Manifesto and Scrum for Couples. Realized our marriage was running on legacy software. We drifted through weekends. We had unstructured conversations that went nowhere. We handled chores reactively instead of proactively. Saw massive inefficiencies in our domestic operations. Decided to implement a relationship operating system. Ross. Sat Mark down on a Sunday morning. Had prepared a slide deck titled Scaling Us Q3 Strategy, explained that we were leaving value on the table by not managing our time like assets. Mark laughed. Thought it was a bit. I didn't smile. I'm serious, Mark. We waste 14 hours a week on low-value activities. We need to align our vectors. He looked confused but shrugged. Okay, babe, if it helps you feel organized, let's try it. Started with a shared Notion workspace. Created a Kanban board for household tasks. Backlog, in progress, review, done. No more can you take out the trash. Now it was a ticket assigned to him with a deadline. If he missed the deadline, the card turned red. Felt a rush of dopamine seeing tasks move to the done column. Posted about it online. Why your marriage needs a Jira board. Viral thread. People praised the efficiency. This is how power couples operate. Love is a project. Manage it like one. Felt validated. Mark was compliant but slow. He'd forget to move the digital cards. I'd have to remind him. Mark, you mowed the lawn but didn't update the status. It messes up the burn down chart. He'd sigh, wiping sweat from his forehead. I just wanted a beer, sorry. I'll click the button. Decided the system needed more granularity. Task tracking was reactive. We needed proactive alignment. Introduced the Sunday Sync, a mandatory 90-minute meeting every Sunday at 10 a.m. Agenda required 24 hours in advance. Review of last week's KPIs, key performance indicators. Planning for next week's sprints. Retrospective section where we analyzed what went wrong emotionally. First few meetings were okay. We synchronized calendars. Meal prepped efficiently. But Mark started looking dread-filled on Sunday mornings. He used to make pancakes and listen to jazz. Now he sat with a notepad, anxious about the agenda. One Sunday, he tried to skip. Can't we just go for a hike? It's a beautiful day. Checked the schedule. We didn't allocate bandwidth for a hike. We have the budget review and the pantry audit. He slumped. Right, the pantry audit. We did the audit. I felt productive. He felt trapped. I didn't see the trap, I only saw the order. Decided we needed better data to make decisions. Bought us both Oura rings and synced our accounts. Created a dashboard tracking our collective energy score. If his sleep was bad, I'd analyze why. Mark, your deep sleep is down 15%. Is it the caffeine? We need to optimize your intake. I just had a bad dream, honey. Dreams are a symptom of unoptimized subconscious processing. Try meditating for 10 minutes pre-bed. He stopped telling me about his dreams. Started analyzing our conversations. Read a study about high-value questions versus logistical noise. Realized 60% of our talk was logistical or gossip. Low ROI communication. Proposed a deep work protocol for our evenings. No phones. Structured conversation prompts to maximize emotional intimacy efficiency. What is a barrier you face today and how can I help you remove it? Mark looked at me over his lasagna. I just want to tell you about a funny dog I saw at the park. Frowned. That's anecdote. It doesn't move the needle on our connection. It's just funny though. Humor is fine, but let's prioritize growth-oriented dialogue first. He went silent. Ate the rest of the meal without speaking. Logged the dinner as low synergy in the daily log. Posted about the silent killer of relationships. Unstructured time. Followers ate it up. Intention is everything. Don't let life happen to you. Felt like a pioneer of modern love. 6 months into the ROS, relationship operating system. Intimacy had plummeted. Analyzed the data. Frequency was down 40%. Duration down 20%. This was a metric failure. Brought it up at the Sunday Sync. Pulled up a graph on my iPad. Our physical connection metrics are trending downward. We need a remediation plan. Mark stared at the graph. His eyes were dead. You made a graph of our sex life? It's data, Mark. We can't manage what we don't measure. It feels weird. Clinical. It's not clinical, it's transparent. I scheduled 3 slots for next week. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning. You scheduled it? To ensure adequate time and energy alignment. He stood up and walked out of the room. Mark, we haven't finished the retrospective. He went to the garage. I marked the meeting as incomplete due to stakeholder resistance. Decided he was blocking the optimization because of his own chaotic nature. He wasn't growth mindset. Needed to coach him up. Started sending him calendar invites for performance reviews. Labeled them relationship check-ins to be softer. But the structure was a review. What went well? What needs improvement? I gave him feedback on his listening skills. You interrupt during the empathy phase. It reduces trust velocity. He nodded, looking at his hands. I feel like I'm at work, but the boss is sleeping with me. That's a defensive reaction, Mark. I'm trying to build a world-class marriage. I just want a normal marriage. Normal is average. Average is failure. Do you want us to be mediocre? He didn't answer, just went to bed early. My sleep tracker showed he was awake for hours. I slept perfectly. Optimization brings peace, or so I thought. The breakpoint came on our anniversary. I planned the evening like a product launch. Reservations at a Michelin star place, booked 3 months out. Outfit curated for maximum impact. Gift selected based on utility and long-term value, a high-end ergonomic chair for his drafting table. Mark gave me a card and a hand-carved wooden bird. It was a nuthatch. We had seen one on our first date. I looked at it. It's beautiful, Mark. But where will this go? It doesn't fit the minimalist aesthetic of the living room. He looked crushed. It's a memory, babe. Memories are internal. Clutter is external. I'll put it in the storage drawer. Then I pulled out the annual report. I had printed and bound a 20-page document. Year in review, metrics, milestones, and Q4 projections. Handed it to him across the candlelit table. I thought we could go through this over dessert. Set our OKRs, objectives, and key results for the next year. He looked at the bound booklet, looked at the wine, looked at me. You wrote a quarterly report for our anniversary. It's an annual report. It highlights our wins. We saved 12% on groceries due to the inventory system. He didn't open it. I can't do this. Can't do what? The review? We can skim the financials. I can't be a project anymore. You're not a project, you're my partner. No. I'm a resource. I'm an asset you're managing. There's no love here, just logistics. Logistics is love, Mark. Caring enough to optimize is the highest form of love. He stood up. In the middle of the restaurant. No. Love is messy. Love is wasting time. Love is just looking at a bird and not worrying about where it fits on the shelf. He put cash on the table. I'm taking an Uber to my brother's. Don't send me a calendar invite. He walked out. I sat there with the annual report. Waiter came over. Is everything okay, ma'am? We're just experiencing a misalignment of vision. Ate the dessert alone. Logged the calories. Went home. Mark didn't come back that night. I checked the Notion workspace. He had deleted his account. User Mark has left the workspace. Panic set in. Not emotional panic, but systemic panic. The system was breaking. Sent him an email. Subject: regarding last night/path forward. Bullet points explaining why his reaction was irrational. Proposed a mediation sprint to resolve the conflict. No reply. 2 days later, he came by to get clothes. I had a whiteboard set up. Mark, if we visualize the friction points, he didn't even look at the board. He looked sad. Not angry, just incredibly tired. I'm filing for divorce. That's a permanent solution to a temporary optimization problem. It's not temporary. You don't see me. You see data points. I see you perfectly. I track everything about you. Exactly. You track me. You don't know me. He packed his bag. Before he left, he pointed to the Kanban board in the kitchen. You can move marriage to the dawn column. He left. I stood in the silent, organized kitchen. Everything was clean, everything was labeled, everything was efficient, and it was empty. Posted about the separation, framed it as a strategic uncoupling due to divergent growth trajectories. Followers were supportive. He couldn't handle your ambition. You outgrew him. Alpha women scare beta men. These comments felt good for a moment. But the silence in the apartment was loud. Treated the divorce process like a business merger dissolution. Spreadsheets for asset division. Optimized the legal fees. Got it done in record time. Most efficient divorce my lawyer has ever seen. I bragged on Twitter. Got 5,000 likes. Went back to the dating market. This time, I'd filter better. Created a Google form for potential dates. Pre-date compatibility audit. Questions about sleep habits, 5-year goals, Myers-Briggs type, financial philosophy. Put the link in my Tinder bio. Fill this out to schedule a consultation. Matches dropped to near zero. The few who filled it out were insufferable. Tech bros who wanted to optimize me. Went on a date with a guy named Jason. He brought his own scorecard to the date. He criticized my protein intake. He timed our conversation segments. I hated it. I hated him. Realized with a sinking horror, is this what I sounded like? Went home and cried. Not an optimized, scheduled cry. A messy, snotty, heaving sob on the kitchen floor ruined my sleep score for the night. Didn't care. A year passed. My follower count started to plateau. People were getting tired of the grind set content. The soft life trend was taking over. Optimizing everything was seen as cringe. I felt obsolete. Saw Mark at a farmer's market. I was there to buy specific organic kale for a nutrient protocol. He was buying flowers. Useless, decorative flowers. He was with a woman. She was messy. Hair in a loose bun. Paint on her jeans. They were laughing. Not a productive laugh. A chaotic, loud belly laugh over something stupid. He dropped a basket of strawberries. Berries rolled everywhere. My instinct was to calculate the waste, the cleanup time, the inefficiency. The woman just laughed and started picking them up, eating one that wasn't too dirty. Mark kissed her on the forehead. A spontaneous, unscheduled, untracked kiss. He looked younger, less tired. He saw me. Froze for a second, smiled politely. A stranger's smile. Hey Mark, you looking good, organized. Yeah, you know me. This is Sarah. Sarah smiled. Hi. Mark talks about, well, he says you're very smart. She didn't say, Mark says you're a control freak. She was kind. They walked away, hand in hand. Meandering, no destination. Just drifting through the market, I went home to my apartment. It was perfectly clean. The air quality monitor showed optimal levels. The fridge was stocked by FIFO. First in, first out. Opened my laptop. The personal dashboard stared back. Graphs. Charts. Green check marks. Opened the relationship archive folder. The graphs of our decline. The minutes of the meetings where I suffocated his soul. The annual report he never read. Realized the truth. Optimization is a defense mechanism against vulnerability. If you measure it, you don't have to feel it. If you control it, it can't hurt you. But it also can't touch you. I had optimized my life into a sterile cage. Deleted the Notion workspace. All the history. All the data. Gone. Took the Aura ring off. Threw it in the trash. Went to the storage drawer. Found the wooden nuthatch. Sat on the expensive ergonomic chair I bought him, holding the bird. It wasn't efficient. It served no purpose. It was just love. And I had filed it away, started writing a blog post. The inefficiency of happiness. Wrote about how I destroyed a good thing by trying to make it perfect. How data is not wisdom. How a relationship isn't a business. Hit publish. Lost 2,000 followers instantly. You're giving up on excellence. Weak mindset. But then the other comments started coming. Thank you. I was driving my wife crazy with my spreadsheets. I needed to hear this. I treat my kids like employees. This is the most real thing you've ever written. 2 years post-divorce. I'm a recovering optimizer. I teach workshops on letting go, on how to waste time with people you love, on how to have conversations that have no point. I'm dating a guy named Leo. He's a musician. Always late. We have no shared calendar. We have no weekly sync. Last night we stayed up until 3 a.m. talking about aliens. It ruined my sleep schedule. I was tired at work today. My productivity was down 40%, and I've never been happier. But sometimes, late at night, I look at the wooden bird on my nightstand. And I miss Mark. I miss the man I practiced on. The man I broke to learn the lesson. He's married to Sarah now. They have a baby. I saw a photo. The house looks messy. Toys everywhere. No system in sight. Just pure, unoptimized joy. It hurts, but the hurt is real. And feeling the hurt is better than tracking it. That's my story. How I tried to agile manage my marriage into the ground. How I replaced a husband with a JIRA ticket. and how I learned that the most important things in life can't be measured. Don't be me. Don't optimize your humanity away. Go waste some time. It's the only asset you can't get a return on, and that's what makes it precious.